What's up, people? It's another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best quasi-new metal adjacent podcast from two dudes who are really there. I'm one half of your hosting duo, Jay Horsecow. With me, I have my partner in crime, the notorious TIM, Tim Ministers. Tim, how's it going?
Good. Great.
Good. Great. We're not
Looks
sweating like I was at the Knock Loose concert on Monday, so that's a good thing.
Looks like it's about to fucking, I don't even know. It's like black outside.
Oh, it's going to pour. It's supposed to pour. All right. So we've always injured the weather. So what are we doing this week, everybody? So this week, Tim and I are doing another unscripted deep dive. So for those of you that don't remember, Tim and I created a list of 5 albums, chunks of 5 albums that we enjoy that we don't need any prep work to listen to review. And what we do is we put it in a blender, we use a random number generator, and it picks from the list of albums, and whatever album comes up is the one that we deep dive on. So what are our choices for this unscripted deep dive? So this week, we're going to do something completely different. Tim and I did literally no prep for this whatsoever. So we're going to go off a totally new list. So our choices this week, Tim, are Strapping Young Lad, City, Every Time I Die's Hot Damn, VOD's self-titled album, Killswitch Engage, Alive or Just Breathing, or Pantera Official Live 101 Proof.
Ooh.
All right, so let's use the random number generator, number between 1 and 5, and the number is number 5, Pantera Official Live 101 Proof.
Wow.
All right, so pull up. Let's all pull up Wikipedia. Let's open Spotify and the other monitors so we can pull songs down real quick, and we will get into this one. So while Tim and I are while we're looking this up, I'll vamp a bit. Speaking of Pantera, I went and saw Knock Loose at the Electric Factory in Philadelphia on this past Monday, and I told Tim this is the hottest. This is the most packed I had ever seen the Electric Factory, except for when I saw Pantera there touring off of Trendkill in 97.
That was the famous Bleacher show where everybody got pushed back.
Yes. And Mike, what's his name? Mike Tornello almost
died.
He had to have security save him.
That's hilarious.
All right, so I think I'm all set up, Tim. So let's get in. So album is released, funnily enough, on my birthday, July 29th, 1997. No, not 97. This was released on Elektra East West, produced by the brothers, what's it called? What's their last name?
Paul. Vinnie Paul
No.
Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah, but Paul was their last name? No, that's not their birth last name. Abbott. There we go.
Oh,
I knew there was something there. So the Abbott brothers.
We should restart this one. We sound like idiots.
Right. But we've just lost all of our fucking Pantera cred right there. Well, again, this is unscripted. We're going off the top of our head. So, do you remember when this came out, Tim? Do you remember getting it? And what was your initial thought when you got this?
Oh, I played the shit out of this thing, man. I still to this day, if I pull up a Pantera record, it's usually this one because A, you get a whole mix of good shit. B, it's probably one of the best sounding live records ever. And I love the banter in between songs, man.
Yes. I am looking up
I'm glad we got this one. This is cool.
This is a kind of interesting one. So I remember picking this up. This was the summer. This was Ozfest 97 where Pantera was on it. This was the show I went to. I've told this story a bazillion times. Giant Stadium. We were on the floor. Tim, they were so loud. I sat outside Giant Stadium on the lawn during their set because my ears couldn't take it. This is before I started wearing earplugs, and I still heard it perfectly like there was a radio sitting next to me.
Jesus
Christ,
man.
The way it was set up, you walked in the one end of Giant Stadium, and there's the main stage all the way in the back, and then there was the second stage in the front. So you literally could just move sideways and catch bands main side. I forgot who played before them. I want to say it was like Neurosis. But I come around the corner, and I'm a good distance from the stage. And all I see in real tiny letters is Marshall, like stacks. And they were not playing directly into the PA. They literally had all those amps. And I was like, what the shit? It was unreal. This is the show I talked about, the Katamari Ball, where Phil Anselmo said, I want to see everybody on the floor. And like the state police were trying to tackle people and bonkers. But yeah, this album. So let's get into it. Holy shit, right? So did they say where they recorded this, Tim?
Let's see. You would think it would tell you. Oh, it does not say it yet. This is the only
You know,
thing about no
yeah, we're kind of winging it here.
yeah, but it's all good.
Uh,
It gives a fuck.
Live recorded where? Let's
Yeah, I'm
see.
surprised it doesn't say.
McAllen, Texas.
Oh, makes sense. Okay.
It was recorded live by Aaron Barnes. Yes. 101 Proof was recorded in McAllen, Texas.
Is that their I'm assuming their hometown or are they from Dallas?
Okay, so it was various recordings. So there's a song from Chicago, LA, New York, Texas, Phoenix.
Oh, okay. That makes
And then what
sense.
they did is it's a Dime interview in Metal Edge magazine where he talks about how we just turned in the tapes and then they took the best song from each one, which makes sense because if they only choose to plan, they only plan to record one show. God forbid something goes wrong, you're totally screwed.
Which is crazy because you would think with different amphitheaters and all that sounding, having different reverb stances and all that shit, that it would sound different, but it sounds like the same show.
Coherent. It sounds
Yeah.
coherent.
Because, if you play a certain place, you're going to get different reverb. You're going to get different, all that kind of
Right.
stuff. So
Right.
it's very surprising that that's the case. It makes me like the record even more, actually.
Uh, I just know. So we'll talk about the songs in a minute. At the end are a couple of studio recordings that they did. I think they said they went back into the studio real quick during a break, and not bad songs. Where You Come From, I Can't Hide. If it definitely tells you what's coming with what was the out Reinventing the Steel? Was that the one after this? Yes,
Yes.
yes. You could see where they were going. Where not to say it was less metal, but there was definitely more groove, and it was more. If I say this, it sounds insulting, but I'm not trying to be insulting. More mainstream. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the two songs on the end of that record are when they started getting that southern feel to it. They
Mm.
started adding more of that southern feel, like what's that? What song? He's like, could care less. They
Yep,
had a
yep.
lot of that shit after there. Not saying they didn't have that southern sound before, but honestly, they really didn't, because on Far
Mm-mm.
Beyond and stuff, that was just straight up heavy metal. Like,
Yes. And
you know
same
what
thing
I
with
mean?
Trendkill. Trendkill, they went, everybody knows Phil's story with drugs. They went from outrageously abrasively aggressive to more slower, melodic, like
Yeah.
literally in the haze of drugs. Songs like Floods, Tens, which by the way, we should eventually deep dive that album because you want to talk about a criminally overlooked album.
Oh my God,
I,
yeah.
I love Far Beyond Driven. To me, that is a perfect album. But I go back and listen to Trendkill and I go, holy shit! Like now
Dude,
I got why it
Trendkill's
was
a
too much for
monster,
me.
dude.
Yeah,
I honestly think Trendkill might be their best record. Honestly,
you might not be wrong, dude.
That's a fucking incredible record, dude.
I don't think you're wrong there. I really don't.
I mean, Reinventing the Steel is great. I love some of that, like Goddamn Electric's fucking great. Yeah, Yesterday
Yes.
Don't Mean Shit is one of their
Yep.
best songs ever.
Yep. Uplift.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Death Rattle's great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hellbound is great. There's just so many good songs on that record, but I honestly think Trendkill could be their best record. I mean,
You're probably not wrong. I gotta go
what's
back and listen
on
again.
what's on Trendkill? War Nerve,
Warner, Drag the Waters, Tens, 13 Steps to Nowhere.
yeah,
Uh
Suicide Note Part Two. I
both the
mean, come on,
suicide
dude.
notes.
Floods
Floods,
is on
which
that,
is
yeah.
an amazing song. Floods is an
Did,
amazing song.
didn't they play that live when we seen them?
Yes, I think they
Yeah,
did. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I
yeah.
don't know. I was lit that night. I had a great time.
I mean, the opener is fucking incredible. I mean,
Yep.
come on, dude.
With
Amazing record.
Donald Tardy yelling in the background.
Oh, yeah.
So that scream is from Obituary. So this album comes out and the opening song is a new level, but it starts with the dime bag, the trilling,
Oh, yeah.
and then they go right into it. And you're right, the Between Song Better. Oh my god, what an amazing album!
Yeah, I love the song band. Anything like Deicide's live record, the banter on that record is goddamn amazing. When he announces every song, it's just I fucking love that shit, dude.
So, do you prefer bands that banter or bands that don't?
I love when they banter, especially when they're drunk.
Oh, like Abbott? right?
Oh
How
yeah.
funny would he be? I think I've told this. The best banter I've ever heard was at Psycho Las Vegas when Abbott was doing the Motorhead cover band, and he was trying to sound like Drunk Lemmy. So in between songs, it was like you couldn't understand a fucking word he said, and we would Dan and I were sitting there laughing our asses off. It was great.
Dude, if you ever get a chance to see Deicide, he banters like it's so good, dude.
I I guess I should confess, they were the headliners the second night of the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest, and I left.
Ah, come
Well, it was
on,
after
man.
Fetus, and I was exhausted, dude. That was the end of the second day. I was burnt. I was burnt.
Oh
Big
yeah, they're
fan of
great
Friday,
live.
Saturday festivals, though. I'll tell you that much because this way you get Sunday to recoup.
Oh yeah. Them
Yeah,
3 dayers are the worst.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't mean we did what was I think Vegas was 3 or 4. I think yeah, it was 4, but we didn't do the first day, and I don't know. By the end of the third day, we were ready to leave at like 1 o'clock. We're like, all right, that's enough. Get the fuck out of here. It's
I
too
wouldn't
much.
be opposed to it. I would have left and went and partied.
It was way too much. All right, so what do we got here? So the track listing in this album is a healthy mix of Far Beyond Driven, Vulgar Display of Power. There's a couple tracks off Cowboy Smell, and then they even throw in the stuff that you'd expect to hear from Trendkill. But I think it's only War Nerve, Suicide Note, and Sandblasted Skin. Is that Trendkill?
Oh, I
No,
can't remember.
no. Oh yes, it is. It's the reprise. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they
And
and
then
the track listing is they're all right there in the middle.
in between all them, like track 4 to 9, see, that's when he's fucking rambling a lot. I love that shit.
Yeah, he's that's definitely late in the set where he's been drinking, right?
Yeah, I love that shit. But I never like I don't like a new level as much as like the original recording. I don't like as much as the live recording. I think the live recording sounds way fucking heavier, way better. But plus also that
Yes.
recording of that record is kind of not stale, but it's kind of like I don't know what it is. It's hard to describe, but it just doesn't hit as much as you think it would, as it could. Like
I'm trying to yeah.
imagine it remixed and mastered. It would probably sound like ridiculous these
Yeah,
days.
it's almost I would say, Tim, it's almost missing a little bit of the middle.
Yeah,
Like it's
exactly. Yep.
missing a little bit of the punch you get from a healthy middle. Like the low end is there, and it's not like it's not thin, but it's missing. It's almost like they scooped the mid out of it and left. They left the treble, and then they have all the bass, but there was the mids is kind of gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think you might be missing a little of the high end. I gotta listen to it again, but there's just something about the recording where I don't like it as much. But them songs live just fucking slay, obviously.
Oh
But
yeah, that one of the most fun live bands to see, and I know people were all upset. Well, this is Scam Terra. It's with Zach and Charlie Benanti. First of all, if anybody was going to play in a band to give tribute to Dimebag Darrell, it would have been Zach Wild. That would have
yeah,
been
you
probably
calling him?
Dime's choice, right? And drummer wise, I mean, you got your pick. You got your pick. It could have been anybody except Lars. No offense, Lars,
No,
but
he ain't
anybody
playing
but
them
Lars.
songs. He's not
Uh,
playing them songs.
but Charlie Benanti pulled it off.
And
But
here
I
and
mean,
here's the thing with Charlie. He fucking kills it, man. Every
yes,
video I've seen the live show. He killed it. He sounds incredible. He plays with the same sticks, the same cymbals. It's the same drum heads. It's dude. It's the same. I think he even uses the same gloves. It's
yeah, it was
fucking
it
Pantera.
was the
It's
same sound. Now, somebody like a Dave Lombardo probably would not have worked because Dave is a little more loose in his playing. Um,
no
and then you get
he.
into like the technical guys who would just probably not overplay, but it's if you're going to think of someone to play in a Pantera band as a tribute, it would have to be a band from that era. Your choices are Lombardo, Lars, Dave, Charlie Benanti, or what?
Maybe
Nick Menza from Megadeth?
nah,
No.
probably who's the big dude who
Gene
played with
Hoglan from
Stratham?
Death?
Yeah,
Yeah, Gene
Hoagland.
Hoglan.
Hoagland could have did it. Nick Barker could have probably did it.
Yeah.
No, I mean I don't know. Nick was on that. Nick was in Cradle for a while. He was in Demue. He was an old man's child. I mean, he's a black metal drummer, but he's an amazing fucking drummer.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Gene Hoglan would have probably been an interesting choice.
Hoagland could have killed it. But here's the thing. Charlie is just he's friends with them. Same thing with Zach. Zach is you can't have anyone with Zach do it. Yeah, yeah. People were saying like, Wes Hawk could have did it. Yeah, okay. Wes is a great guitar player, but he doesn't. He wasn't there for that.
Yes,
Zach
yes,
was
and that's a
there.
good way to put it. Zach was a contemporary of Dime, right? They
It's
were
his best friend.
friends, so it makes sense that if you're gonna get up and if you're gonna have someone play a tribute show to a guy who was the one of the most influential guitarists to come out of the '90s heavy metal scene, why wouldn't it be one of his best friends?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be the dickhead here. Metallica is not the original band. They don't have what's his name. He died. Right?
Yeah,
He died.
yeah.
So what are we doing
And
here?
now
Just
they've hot swap
because
bases twice. Yeah.
Yeah. The people that say, "Oh, Phil, yeah, he's original member, but he isn't Pantera." Dude, he's the front man of Pantera. He is Pantera. Yes,
Yes.
Dime and Vinny and all them are Pantera, but fucking Phil is Pantera.
Which is why replacing a singer is replacing a vocalist is the hardest thing to do in any band. Because no offense to the musicians, you can find someone to play guitar, they'll bring their own style, bass, they'll bring their own style, drums, they'll bring their own style. Every vocalist is unique,
Yeah.
especially when they're not grunting or doing like pig squeals.
That's like telling me that that's like saying to me like, "Oh, Chino Moreno left Deftones, so we're going to replace him with Kareem from Loathe." No, no, we're not. Because
No, it's
yeah,
not the
he's a great
Deftones.
singer. Yeah, he's a great singer. I love his singing, but dude, you don't have Deftones without Chino. Sorry, you don't have Pantera without Phil. It just ain't happening, dude.
It's the truth.
It
I mean,
is,
it's the sad
and
truth.
the whole scam terror thing, it's corny, dude. Enough.
Yeah, it's adults being childish. Okay, so back to this album. So
And
starts
if you
off
really want to be a dick, Slayer was missing
Jeff
Phil
Hanneman.
and Hahnemann, and they still went on, right? I didn't hear anyone say it was scam to terror. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right. When Dave Lombardo is no longer there. Yeah, and
Like,
Jeff
come
Hanneman
on, dude.
wrote the band's music, right? Like
Yeah, and
Hanneman, Hanneman, however you say
and they got what's his name to
it.
replace him, who's an amazing guitar player.
Did
So
Phil
who
Demmel?
cares?
Phil Demmel, right?
No, no, it was dude from Exodus.
Oh, Gary
Gary
Holt.
Holt. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are we
Phil
even
Demmel was
talking
the
about
Machine
here?
Head guy. Yeah,
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 Demo plays in Kerry King's band,
yeah, yeah. Okay, so I was close. I was close.
and
So
Demo's a fucking great guitar player.
yeah, well, he showed up, and Machine Head doesn't have the resurgence without him. Through the Ashes of Empires, and it doesn't happen without him. It doesn't.
1000% true.
And I think even Rob from Machine Head, I think he would even Rob Flynn would admit that. I think he would.
I don't
All
think they
right,
have
so
their second resurgence without Vogue from Decapitated playing either.
yeah, yeah. I don't. At this point, it's kind of fallen off for me. That's deep into the career. All right, so back to Pantera. We open the new level, and then they go back to back with that and Walk. I thought it was a very ballsy choice to put Walk so high up in this track listing.
Yeah, because this is a song you would play 15, 16.
This is late in the set because this is the song that everybody knows. If not the closer, it's the lead into the encore.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. But you
Yeah,
got to think back then. What was this? 90? What was this came out?
97.
97. I mean, 97. It's not as big as a hit as it is now. So maybe I see why that happened. But yeah, I agree. You should have left off with it.
Well, and then they go into back to back from Far Beyond Driven. They go into Becoming, which has the dun dun wham dun dun,
I
which is.
fucking love it.
Do you ever see the videos of the guy, the roadie, who actually hits that pedal?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's just sitting there, just with his arms crossed, just hitting the pedal. It's kind of cool. Becoming, and then 5 minutes Alone, which
Yeah,
was a video, right?
Yeah, I want to go back to Becoming though. Becoming live is way better than the studio version. Way fucking better.
Yeah, yeah.
That might be my favorite Pantera song of all time, too. Becoming live. When they played
Yeah.
that live last year, I was fucking screaming every lyric to that. I couldn't even talk after for like 20 minutes.
That tuning of that song, it sits between C sharp and D.
Yeah, he had a weird thing where he would like use a tuner, and like there's a thing on a tuner where you can like dumb down the kilohertz or whatever it's called. Don't quote me on this. I know my tuner right here has it. Hold on, let me look.
It's weird. So it sits in between C sharp and D. What's between C sharp and D?
It's like a certain kilohertz or something that they tune to.
Interesting.
Like the dude on Burn My Eyes, he did that as well. So I think that's in drop B. But if you tune the drop B and try and play the songs, they don't sound the same.
Quite right.
They don't sound quite right. You have to like tune the strings to a certain kilohertz. I'm pretty sure it's kilohertz, and then you can
Okay.
get it. I'll look it up for we'll talk about it in a little bit.
All right, cool.
But yeah,
Uh,
there's a certain thing they do with tuners that they can change like certain parts of it, and it's still in tune. It's fucking weird, but
uh, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. So we come off Becoming and we go to 5 Minutes Alone, which was the other big single, right?
yeah.
Yeah, because 5 Minutes Alone and Broken were the singles off that album. Yeah.
5 Minutes Alone's the video where they show them playing from the head
The
down
head
and the
down.
strings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, badass video though.
Which is kind of cool for someone who even doesn't play guitar to watch how he gets the sounds out of it. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, you also got to remember he's probably the best guitarist of his generation, metal wise. I mean, come on, dude. Everybody,
Yeah.
if you talk to anybody that listens to metal, you're gonna ask them their top five inspirations in guitar. It's fucking dime bags there.
And I love how they talk about how he used to get fucking wasted. They would trot him out on stage with a guitar and he would play. And as he sobered up, he got better as the set went on because he was starting to
Yeah.
sober up. Like, that is insane.
What was the story where he drank like a 30 pack and like a whole bottle of fucking Canadian Club and he couldn't even stand up. They threw a guitar on him and he nailed every note of the solos live.
I heard that story. It must have been on a podcast we both listened to.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, we threw him up there and he just fucking shredded the whole he couldn't even stand and he shredded every note.
Which is, I mean, really impressive. Really, really impressive.
And then he went to sleep and woke up and didn't even remember the show. He was so smashed. He woke up and he was like, "Oh." They're like, "Yeah, you played last night, perfect." And he was like, "Oh," and
Why
he
do I
was
think?
hungover for like 3 days straight.
Why do I think we've heard that story with the whole Incubus when they were on tour together? I think it was an Ozfest or something, and they went out and bought Incubus all Levi's because they didn't like their Jenkos and their big baggy jeans. So Dime went out and bought all of them Levi's and gave each one of the members of the band a pair of jeans. These jeans fit right,
That's
which is
fucking
kind of funny.
hilarious, actually.
So after
Gave
five
him a
minutes,
pair of fucking Wranglers.
Wrangler, yeah, right, Lee, one with the big Lee in the back. So after 5 minutes low, we're going into Sandblasted Skin. Is this? Is that?
No. That's
No, that's Shedding Skin. Why can't
I
I
wish
picture this?
I wish you could play a snippet of it, but we'll get fucking shredded.
You know
You could
what?
play it for yourself, but if you played it on here, we get fucking demoted off here in a second.
Yeah. Oh, they'd kick us right off the platform. Hold on, here we go.
I think
Okay, I
the
remember this.
oh yeah
Yeah.
oh
But enough about this
wow,
song.
wow. Yeah
Let's go to the fucking monster that is Suicide Note Part 2.
oh banger, dude, straight banger.
Out of the 5 best breakdowns ever recorded, Pantera has 2 of them.
Okay,
And this is one of them.
you think?
Wah, wah. Oh,
Oh yeah
if you don't lose your fucking mind when that song comes on, you are inhuman and there's something wrong with you. You're not a metal
yeah.
fan.
I think in the '90s, your other best breakdown was Sepultura's
Mm-hmm.
fuck. What
You
am I
got it.
thinking of?
Dead embryonic cells.
Yeah, great.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That. So my top 5. Here we go. Suicide Note Part 2. Another song we're going to get to by Pantera in a minute. So I'll hold that thought. Um, Dead Embryonic Cells.
Oh yeah.
Uh, it's the breakdown. I think it's Raining Blood.
Oh,
I think it's Slayer's Raining Blood. I think. Or was it Angel of Death? It was a Slayer song. And I forgot what my 5th pick was. What, Tim, yours, top 5 breakdowns of all time?
Suffocation. In the '90s or just of all time?
Well, of all time, you're going to end up going back to the 90s because nothing modern can compare to that. So, yeah,
It's definitely Dead Embryonic Cells.
okay.
Suffocation on Pierced from Within. I forget the track title, but goddamn, that break part is so fucking sick. You remember the song that Kevin Talley is playing live for Sick Drummer?
Yes, yes.
Oh, what is that song called? It might be Pierce from Within. It might be the title track. But he does this crazy blast and then these like tom fucking parts and then it just dude, it slams so hard. I don't know how people don't fucking murder each other in that crowd, dude, but that is one of the hardest mosh parts I've ever heard. Um that's hard, dude. All time is so hard for to ask me, man.
So maybe we need to come back and do this as an episode. Top 10 breakdowns of all time.
Yes, let's do it.
My God, we'll be drinking that night. We'll be moshing in the basement. All right, so
And we have to play the breakdown.
yeah, I think we can get away with that. And if YouTube flags it, we'll just overdub with like bees sounds or something in the during the sample. Just somebody blathering. But this song is a fucking monster because it's very much the southern twang, the wow, wow, and then it goes into the fucking breakdown where just seeing that live was just unbelievable.
Oh yeah, great stuff, man.
So we come out of Suicide Note Part 2, we go to War Nerve, one of the longer songs on this album.
Yeah. I
Uh,
fucking love that song.
Good, but to me, this was I just had a text message from my buddy who's at the Boundaries Orthodox show in New York, and he said, how about Kel no Nashi? Hell no Nashi. I always skipped War Nerve because it went from Suicide Note Part 2 to Strength Beyond Strength, which we want to talk about. That's another one we could do, Tim. Monster openers.
Yeah.
Monster openers where the band hits it, and we should even set needs to be 3 minutes and 30 seconds or less.
Ooh.
So who has an opener that's that short and that fast? I gotta
Man,
hold on.
You're making it hard, man.
We're vamping it, but I'm gonna write this down. So monster opener. I'm gonna write this down. Opener 330 or less, and then best breakdowns.
Yeah, the best breakdown episode is going to be so hard to do.
And then we'll do say top 10 breakdowns with 2 honorable mentions, because I know there's some bands that might have been forgotten that the stuff that I wouldn't put in my top 10 but are still memorable, right? Like Evergreen Terrorist, there's a couple there. All right, so we're coming off of War Nerve, we go into Strength Beyond Strength, then we go to the best song on the fucking album. Hands down.
Well, Hollow has one of the best mosh parts.
Dom Hollow, right?
Yeah.
Domination is the best breakdown ever recorded. I read somewhere on the internet that there are 3 definites in life. It's birth, it's taxes, and that at any given minute in the world, there is some dude in a pickup truck somewhere listening to Domination, losing his mind. Every minute of every day in the world. And you know what, Tim? They're not wrong. They're not wrong.
It has to be live though, the live one.
This and the Monsters of Rock in Moscow, that black and white video where he goes into the fucking breakdown is just. Can you imagine? The wall comes down and you're playing to over 100,000 people. People so far back, Tim, you can't even see the end of the crowd.
That's wild, man.
I can't even imagine what that must have been like.
I remember, I don't like this band at all, Kiss, but I remember hearing a story when they played for like 500,000 people. And it was just like, I remember the one dude saying like, there were so many people. It's just like you said, you couldn't see the end of it. It just kept going and going and going. Like people looked like ants back there. That's how many people were there.
And then when they have the speakers are all facing the same way, and they have to, because there's a delay for when the band plays it to the people in the back of that crowd actually hear it.
That's wild, dude.
Which is insane. Speaking of off topic, but you know what? This is a rambler of an episode anyway. I listened to an interview with the two guys from VOD, Fleischman and Baumbach, where they talked about Imprint. This might have been Meep Meep, because I don't remember ever listening to this episode, but after I listened to it, I remembered I'd listened to it once before. And they talked about guitars slipping out of phase. And I did not understand that. I literally went dumpster diving in YouTube for videos that will explain what does it mean when 2 guitars are out of phase. And then I finally, after like an hour of watching videos, I could hear, oh, okay, now I get what it's talking about.
Yeah, phase is a big thing for recording. When you record, you have to check phase and stuff. Yeah,
that's what they were talking about, where they recorded, I think it was 12 Steps to Nowhere, where they both recorded their guitars. When they played them together and they heard the mix, they realized it was terribly out of phase.
Yeah, the good thing about these days on your dolls, you can just reverse the phase on the one and it goes back in. So
That's awesome.
there's a
But yeah, it
button
was
to just reverse it. So
hit the button. But as again, as a non-guitarist, I've heard slipping out of phase before, and I know there's a phaser as a effects pedal, but I didn't know what it
yeah,
really did. Now I think I understand it. Kind of neat.
yeah, phaser's completely different. That's just an effect. Yeah,
Oh, it's just an effect. Okay.
yeah, that's just an
Uh,
effect pedal. Yeah,
After Domination Hollow, we go to the second longest song on the album, This Love. I have a, part of the pun, love-hate relationship with this song because I know it's a great song, but it's a long one. But
it's
it's
great though.
really heavy at the end, but it's long. And this was one of those, every time I listened to this album, I would either, the first listen, I would listen to it. The second listen, I would skip it, and I would go back and forth because it's a long song.
I love it.
Oh, it's great. I mean, heavy as shit, right?
There's something about this record that makes me only like these versions of the songs though.
It's because it's so, it's a live album that obviously came from the soundboard that sounds amazing. Like it sound and it and I'm not even put it in different words. It perfectly or almost perfectly captures the live energy that they brought to a show.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
some live albums sound like it's just a studio recording with some ambient crowd noise. This one sounds like you are actually there. Like it gets the room.
Yeah, you can hear the cheering before every song, especially
Yep.
in especially before I'm Broken, you hear that the crowd is just fucking nuts.
Yeah. And Jesus, they were doing arena tours at this point. That's unbelievable. So after This Love, we go to I'm Broken,
Love
which
it.
uh I skip this because I skip it because I grew up when Pantera was on MTV. This video was on every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's a great video. You know, they do it in the circle and around, and the camera's moving around them. But Tim, I can't describe how often it was on. It was on all the time, which is kind of wild to say now that I say it out loud that Pantera was on MTV. So much so that I got sick of it.
Yeah, you imagine it being on now.
What is on
It'd be
MTV now? Jersey Shore and
it would
Teen
be
Mom?
Jersey Shore, Ridiculous. Ridiculous gets played so much that dude's living off of fucking episodes that air. The hell's his name? Diedrich, whatever the fuck his name
Rob
is.
Deerdeck, yeah.
Yeah. Good for him though.
Uh,
Cool.
Jersey Shore, I don't understand what JWoww did to her face,
Mm.
but she got way too much plastic surgery. She was so pretty and she chopped herself up. I still have a soft spot for Snooki because the short, loud Italian ones, I mean, I married one. That's right in my wheelhouse. Um,
I've never honestly watched a show, and I'm not one of them people that's just like, oh, it's fuck corny. Brianna loves that shit, and I'll watch it when she has it on. Like she'll watch it on like Saturday mornings or whatever, and I'm just like, what did these people do to their faces?
yeah, it's too much plastic surgery.
Like you
Somebody's got to,
look like your cheeks aren't moving. What the fuck is going on
oh, when
here?
they talk and their upper lip doesn't move, it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
what the
whatever.
fuck, man?
Man, we're getting down the rabbit hole here. All right, so after Unbroken, we're closing out. We've got the closers. We're getting close to the end of the album. We've got Cowboys from Hell,
Honestly,
which
I'm gonna be that dude. I skip Cowboys from Hell all the time.
uh
Great
it's I
track,
mean
but yeah,
it's a great song. This I listened to. I skipped the next one. So I listened to this because I love that intro. The with whatever wow, whatever effect they use where it's swirling around the room. Like I think that sounds fucking awesome. Um But I remember when I was a kid having the cassette, I was excited to get through Cowboys from Hell because the next song is Primal Concrete Sledge, which is a fucking monster.
oh yeah,
So coming off of Cowboys from Hell, Tim, we go to the lone Pantera ballad, Cemetery Gates.
great track. Too long.
Yeah, way too long. Way too long.
I liked it live. Did they play this live or was it This Love?
They definitely played This Love.
Yeah,
Because I
they
remember him
did.
starting in, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I knew the song was long enough that I could get to the bathroom and get back and not miss more than one song.
I go to setlist.fm and look at our set
Yeah.
list.
So this was the second single off of Cowboys from Hell. And Psycho Holiday was the third? Huh.
Let's see.
And then
Pantera,
it was Mouth for
Hamden.
War. Jeez.
All right, here's the
Well,
set
that was
list
all
for
vulgar.
Camden. Here we go. Regular People. That was just
Okay.
video footage. All right, A New Level.
Okay.
Mouth for War. Strength Beyond Strength. The Coming with the Throes of Rejection outro. I'm Broken with the Demons by Be Driven outro, which was great. Suicide Note Part
Yes.
2. 5 Minutes Alone. This Love. Fucking Hostile. Cemetery Gates. Planet Caravan. Walk. Domination Hollow. Cowboys from Hell. Then Slaughtered Revolution is my name. Great fucking set.
Yo, Slaughtered is one of the heaviest songs they have ever done.
Oh yeah. That double kick part is fucking amazing.
Just that's how he starts it. Yeah. 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 Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna after this episode, I'm gonna listen to fucking Pantera. I'm gonna go upstairs and be really, really pissed off. Um, yeah, good song, but kind of long. Kind of long. And I don't need Phil doing the high notes. Like I get it, that's where they started, but forget it.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
need it either, honestly.
And after Cemetery Gates, they end with fucking Hostile.
Yeah. I
Which
mean, what's better than end with that?
what else are they gonna end with? Walk. The only other song they can end with is Walk.
Let's see here. Certifications. 500K United States gold, 60K United Kingdom silver, 35K gold Australia. So it didn't do great, but it didn't do terrible.
500,000 copies of a live album. Yeah.
I thought it would be more, honestly.
I mean, it reached number 15 in the Billboard 200.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, I wonder what the highest charting live album is.
See if you can find it. It's probably like some pop artist.
Or the Beatles.
Yeah, it's probably like fucking Lady Gaga or some shit if she even has one. I don't know. She's a weird fucking character, man.
She's a weird one, but I gotta say, she's fucking talented. Like
Very
she's
talented. Yeah.
talented. There's no denying it. And the movie she was in with Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born, was good. I'm not afraid to admit that. The season she did of American Horror Story Hotel was great.
I
Um,
love that. Yeah.
her the first couple of albums were really, really enjoyable.
I couldn't really tell you songs that she did. If I heard them, I would be like, oh, okay. But
I always get her and Kesha confused, which is probably a running joke, and someone is right now yelling at their radio, like, "Are you fucking kidding me, Jay?"
I don't
Okay,
know
and then
who
we
that
end with
is.
the two studio recordings, "Where You Come From" and "I Can't Hide."
I love both of them tracks.
Not as big a fan of "Where You Come From" as I am of "I Can't Hide." And wasn't there another version they did of this? No, they did another version of they did reissued Trendkill. And when they
I th-
reissued Trendkill, there was a live disc that came with it.
I think if you went onto SoulSeek, you could find another track that didn't make this record. I'm pretty sure there's a third one they did that didn't make it, but it's downloadable. I just forget what it's called. I
Is it
swear there's a third track on SoulSeek. You'd have to look. I don't have
uh
SoulSeek on this computer, but
I do. Let me give it a second to boot up if it doesn't kick me out of this fucking meeting because my computer is every time I try to open even when I have Spotify running, it kills it. So what do I look for? Pantera Live?
yeah, official live, yeah. I could have swore there was 3 tracks that they released, but only 2 made it.
Where You Come From, I Can't Hide.
I might be thinking of something different, but you would think I just pulled up the wiki again. You would think it would be in here. Apparently, they recorded the new material during a break in our tour. We recorded them in 12 days. It was a great feeling to get back in the studio again, especially when we knew the songs were going to go on an album that is so important for us and our fans. We felt like after 7 years of playing live that we wanted to put out a record with all our best tunes, songs that we have our own TLC instead of all that foolishness that happens when a band puts out a greatest hits album or some overdubbed live album. You nailed it right there, Jay. Because you said
Yeah,
that.
because it doesn't sound fake. It sounds like you were
Yeah.
actually there.
So
Uh
in
yeah.
essence, they wanted to do a best of record, but they wanted it to be live, which is really cool actually.
Are you thinking of maybe the song that was on, wasn't the Strangeland soundtrack? They had a song which was never released anywhere else.
What was it called?
Uh
Is it The Rule?
I don't remember. but we can look it up. Pantera discography, albums, live albums, comps, EPs, singles. They did Cat Scratch Fever for Detroit Rock City. Um, they did a song Piss, which was on Vulgar Display of Power. Hole in the Sky, which is a Black Sabbath cover.
I think they did a song called The Rule.
Well, they did The Badge on the Crow. They did Immortally Insane for Heavy Metal 2000. They did Where You Come From, A Strange Land. Duh. Electric Funeral. Yeah, those are all covers.
Nah.
Dallas Stars Greatest Hits. They did Puck Off. Man, that's kind of something else. All right.
Yeah, they don't
So
have a song called The Rule. Somebody has a song called The Rule.
we'll find it. Somebody right now is watching or listening to this episode and yelling at their screen, like, yo, how do you guys not know this? So all in all, Tim, where does this rank in the pantheon of live albums? Can you think of a live album better?
No, absolutely not.
No. No, I would agree.
Number 2 would be Deicide live from Chicago. Oh yeah, actually I can. And I don't know if it's considered a live record, but that Sepultura live record, the double disc one, is so fucking good.
Oh yeah, the last show that's official. The last show they did it, I think it's Endangered. What is it called? It's the last show they did before Max left.
Yeah, it's a double disc, but the second disc is like
Yes.
covers and like Policia is on there and shit like that, right?
What is it?
Is it Roots? No, I mean as
It's Under a Pale Gray Sky.
yeah, yeah, oh
That's it.
yes. That
Yep.
shit is amazing, dude. That's
Yeah,
we should talk about that one day.
oh, we should add that to the list. But oh my god, what an amazing! I am still so pissed that we're going to see that tour. So yeah, you think you're right. There's not many live albums that come close to this. Like
No.
this is Pantera, full bore, hitting all the right notes, fully in their element. They're in a groove and they're just going for it. And it was definitely lightning in a bottle. I remember listening to this and thinking about the times I saw them, like, yeah, this basically sounds like how they sound.
Yeah. Yeah, it nailed it, man. Great
So
fucking
out of 10,
record.
Tim, what do you think?
Oh, it's a 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Actually, if you
mean,
leave off the 2 non-live tracks, I'd probably give it a 10.
mm.
Not to
Well, I
say that I
mean,
don't like them, but this is a cohesive live album.
we'll take them out of there because if you consider it's not really a live record with them two on there, but for the live record aspect, yeah, I guess you could be right. It would be a 10, but I'll give it a 9 just for because I don't
Yeah,
give
I would
many
agree.
records. I don't give many records a 10. There's a few I would, but not this. So,
Now you're
but
gonna be
yeah,
diving down the Sepultura rabbit hole.
yeah,
Jesus.
we got it
Okay.
under a pale gray sky is amazing.
Yeah, that's up there. That's up there. Do you think, Tim, it makes it more resonant knowing what happened after the fact?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because after literally a backstage after this show is where Max quit.
Wow, I did not know
This
that.
yes,
But
this
yeah.
was the Brixton show where backstage they told Max they wanted to fire Gloria as the manager, and Max said no. And they band argued, and they said, "Well, if she goes, I go." And they said she goes, and he said, "Okay, I go." And that was that. Soulfly was born.
To think of it, he probably already had Soulfly in the fucking barrel, and then he just shot it out right
He
there.
he definitely had some ideas because if you listen to the first Soulfly album, there's definitely stuff that could have been Roots Part Two.
Oh, absolutely.
I just I wish excuse me, I wish these grown ass men with their giant ass egos would say, "Hey, can we put this to the side and just do one tour? Just do one tour. We play only greatest hits from Roots backwards. Fucking grab Andreas, grab Paolo, the brothers Cavalera." I would spend an obscene amount of money for that.
Well, I meant to tell you this. So we must have been talking about a Sepultura arena tour that would sell out, and somebody was yelling at us on YouTube. Like I don't remember who said it. It was me or you, obviously, but somebody was like, "You're fucking nuts. That would never happen." Let me find the fucking comment because it's fucking great, dude. Hold on. Somebody was shredding
Pissing off
us.
random people on the internet. It's always a good sign.
Yeah, let me find the comments here because it's fucking great, dude. Uh, Sepultura. Here we go. It's the first one.
What video?
Sepultura.
Wait, but what video was it off of?
Burton C. Bell Anti Droid React.
Okay.
Sepultura, if they got back together, would not be selling out arenas 2 nights in every city. Dude is delusional and a little too hyped. So I don't know which one of us was talking about it, but I don't care. You're fucking wrong. If listen, dude, if you're listening, what's your name on YouTube? Patient Mental. All right, if you're listening, dude, you're fucking wrong, and I'm gonna tell you why. If Sepultura gets back together with the original lineup and played a greatest hit set, maybe not 2 nights in a row, but every single night of that tour is sold out. I don't give a fuck what you say. It would
Yes.
happen. Every single motherfucking night of that tour is selling
Yes.
out instantly. Maybe not instantly, but it's selling out. I don't
Oh,
care.
I think it would be almost sleep tokenish where it would go on sale and it would be sold out right after.
Yeah,
I think
I
it would.
don't.
Yeah.
This is probably like a fucking look like a boomer dude that's just fucking mad that or he probably likes Sepultura, the new version, and I don't know. He's probably one of them dudes. But if you're
We
listening, dude, comment again. So
yeah, comment or email us. Come on the show. So I will say this. Um Against the first album they did after Max left,
it's
it's
good.
not a bad album. It's
No,
good.
not at all. It's good.
And even the one after that, Nation, wasn't bad either. After that, I kind of lost interest, like Roar Back and everything after that. But Against was more of a punk rock record than anything.
Yeah, it's good. I actually do
Yeah.
like good. I remember Jimmy asked me if I like them records. And I was like, eh. He's like, go back and listen to it. It's really good. And I did. And I was like, he's right. This is a fucking good record.
I'm gonna call out Jimmy Ferrari on his shit right now, even though he's not listening. How can he tell you that those two albums are great? But whenever I talk about the John Bush Anthrax years, he argues with me and says, no, it's all garbage.
A lot of people hate John Bush years.
I don't know. The Volume 8, The Threat is Real is a great album. All right, Tim, let's take it home. So, New Breed _ podcast, Twitter and Instagram, newbreedpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on our Facebook group. Find us on r/new metal. It's been kind of wild lately. A lot of conversation going on. 267-297-4627
Yes, sir.
is our voicemail. Leave a voicemail. Hey, if you're the guy who thinks Sepultura won't sell out arenas, leave us a voicemail. Curse us out in real time. We'll play it on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Remember, new episodes every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Reaction vids every Friday at lunchtime, 12 p.m. Eastern. So tune in and see what we're reviewing next. I think we've got videos chalked up till, God, I think December of 2027. So until next week, Jay and Tim saying, peace.
Later.